Hello, dear friend. In this video, we will explore how Neptune affects our relationships. Specifically, those are the charts or the people who have Neptune or the Pisces energy triggering their seventh house or their Venus. This might be if you have the sign Pisces on the cusp of seventh house, or if you have Neptune in seventh house, or Neptune in a major aspect with the cusp of your seventh house. Other options are if Venus is in Pisces, or Venus has a major aspect, or sometimes even not only the major aspects with Neptune. And of course, the more of those indications you have, the stronger the impact of Neptune will be. This information can also be helpful if in the predictive techniques you find that Neptune is triggering your relationship and your personal life. This could be transit Neptune in your seventh house, or transit Neptune triggering Venus, or even in progressions or in other predictive methods. If Neptune is triggering your seventh house or Venus, this can also apply. Not as strongly as if you already have this in your chart. So, for example, if you have, let's say, the sign of Pisces on the cusp of seventh house, and right now the transit Neptune is there, of course, this is a double trigger, and this is like a very strong connection. So, if that's the case, then what happens? What happens if Neptune affects your personal life and your relationships? I'm talking mostly about romantic relationships. The truth is that things are not simple. And in astrology, we always say that things have two sides. But this applies even more when we talk about Neptune. With Neptune, things are unclear, confusing, and we may have strange and interesting mixture between the different possibilities. So there might be a positive side of this when Neptune affects your relationship. And the truth is that this could be the most beautiful, amazing, fulfilling love you can experience. And you do have this potential. But the truth is that this is not always the case. And if we have to be very precise, this is more like the exception. You do have this potential, but there is a path to get there usually. So in most cases, at least at first, there are also some complications coming with this. And of course, we need to talk about those because those are usually the things that people are searching to solve, ways to solve them or solutions. So that's usually, what brings people here. So which are those more problematic influences of Neptune? First of all, very typical scenario is the victim and the rescuer. So whether you will be attracted towards a partner who you find to be weaker, kind of like the victim, and you want to rescue him, you want to save him, you want to help and fix him, this is one option. Or you might choose the other, which is for you to feel like the victim and to search for someone else to save you or to rescue. And the truth is that those roles are always connected, and you may switch in between, and you may even want to fix or help someone else because you also feel that you need to be fixed or rescued, or you need help yourself. So of course, this is like a very complicated psychological pattern, but it's also a very common one. So look at your relationship or your own patterns or scenarios and check if that applies to you. If you are sometimes attracted to people who you feel like they are the victim of some kind and you are there to help them, or you're choosing the other option, that you are kind of the weak one who searches for someone stronger to save you. But this is like a very typical Neptunian scenario, the victim and the rescuer. Another typical, for most people, problematic situation is related to love triangles. I'm saying to most people because this doesn't apply to all people. There are people who explore those options and they may have a more open relationship or a 3-person relationship. That's again Neptunian. But I think that for most people, at least right now, this isn't something they are happy with. And that's again the Neptune side. So love triangles are very Neptunian. Infidelities or someone who is unfaithful. Basically, here we don't have clear boundaries and we don't have clarity. And this is again very Neptunian. So this is also something that Neptune and the Pisces energy can bring. Another typical situation is to be attracted by partners who are somehow problematic, who have problems themselves. Those could be people who have addictions, people who are sometimes sick physically, mentally, emotionally, or people who are unfaithful again. So I know I'm going too much into the, negative side, but again, I want to bring clarity and I want to focus on all of the options. So this is another one: lies, cheats, infidelities, being unfaithful. So Neptune brings confusion, and you might be attracted to partners who are confused themselves. They don't know what they want. They don't know who they want. They say something, then they change their mind. They don't want to commit to something serious. They're a little bit like this, too chaotic, or, kind of like extremely flexible to the point that sometimes you just cannot rely on them. So this is also kind of like the darker side. Something maybe even more important and very typical on a general level is about dependency. So if Neptune affects your personal life, romantic relationships, I would really encourage you to explore this theme about dependency. Do you need or want someone to depend on you? Do you feel like you depend on someone else? And the truth is that, of course, all humans more or less depend on others. That is life, of course. But sometimes we kind of go too much into this, and we can be emotionally dependent. We can be financially dependent sometimes. So there are different ways in which this can be expressed, but at the bottom, of course, this is always on an inner level. So even if there is dependency on external level, it always starts from the internal. So on a deep inner level, Neptune can bring this dependency. Someone that depends on you, or you feel like you depend on them. Because Neptune really likes to feel needed. And overall, being needy or needing help or something like that, this is again very Neptunian. So this is something that is worth exploring. To explore where is this dependence coming from and to work with that. And the point here is, of course, not to get pessimistic when you hear all of those things and to give up and say, well, yeah, my relationships suck. No, this is not the point. Or to feel sorry for yourself. Also not the point. The point is to explore the roots of those issues. And when you find them in yourself, this is always about yourself, not about your partner or anyone else. It's about you. And to find where is this coming from? Why are you attracted to people who don't want to commit, or people who have problems, or people who are unreliable, or whatever, unavailable, you name it? Why do you need someone, or why do you feel like you depend on someone? When you explore all of those things within yourself and you heal them and you work with them and you process them, this is how you evolve, and this is how you get out of the negative Neptunian scenarios. So usually this doesn't happen like this without our conscious awareness and effort. And again, the point is not to feel like you are, I don't know, like you just have a very bad luck or whatever. It's always about taking full responsibility for everything that happens in your life and to search for the root. Only then you can pass through those negative scenarios and get to this possibility, to this potential, to have the most blissful, deepest, warmest love. Another thing which is worth exploring is also the topic about boundaries. Neptune and Pisces don't understand this concept very well. So boundary issues can also be typical. Whether your partner crosses your boundaries and kind of like oversteps everything, or you are doing it yourself, it depends. You may switch roles with time, of course. You may be from one side than the other, but this is also something worth exploring. Are you somehow crossing boundaries or not respecting boundaries? And actually, first you need to think about your own boundaries. Do you have concrete and healthy boundaries yourself? And then you might explore, are you also respectful of the boundaries of your partner or other people as well? Usually you will find something there, something worth working with, processing, healing perhaps. Overall, also Neptune brings this, what I like to call the pink glasses. So the desire to see everything is great and amazing. So this may lead to seeing your partner not in a very realistic way. You may have illusions, you might idealize them, you might be naive when it comes to their qualities or their desires or their commitment. All of that is again very Neptunian. So you need to explore this as well. Why do you need your partner to be ideal or perfect or that glorious? And why do you need this energy of something to be not what it is? So it's a little bit having difficulties with seeing reality and the real nature of people. Also very Neptunian. Now, those are some of the major problematic points that is worth to explore. Let's talk about the positives or the potential. And again, it's there, but I want to be realistic about it and tell you that this is not the most common case. And unfortunately, few people can get to this point. But to get there, first you need to address the other stuff. And if you work through those things and you find the root and heal everything, Neptune really brings the potential to experience unique, deep, unconditional love. This is really Neptunian, the unconditional love. Love that has no limitations, no concrete form. It doesn't know time or space limitations. It's everywhere. So yes, Neptune can bring you this potential as well. And Neptune can make you oversensitive, very compassionate, very caring. Can also help you to find such a partner who is, again, sensitive, caring, compassionate, empathetic. Again, wonderful Neptunian qualities. Also, Neptune can bring a very deep emotional and spiritual connection. And a relationship with a partner who is either very creative or he is some kind of helper himself. He could be doctor, psychologist, some kind of healer, someone who makes a sacrifice for other people. He might have his own spiritual path, of course. This is like the more evolved side of Neptune. And yeah, it can be amazing, but it's not that easy to get there. And first you need to work with how things are right now and to work with the reality and most importantly with yourself. Keep in mind that Neptune, especially on a lower level, doesn't like responsibility. So kind of a defense mechanism for you might be to avoid taking responsibility for whatever is happening in your personal life. Again, feeling like a victim a little bit, or just saying that you just have bad luck, or other people are bad, or unreliable, or whatever. Yes, when we are in much pain, this seems to be the easier answer, but it's not the true answer. The true answer is always here. Because you are the person who attracts those people, those particular partners or situations. And it's also not the point to blame yourself. The point is to seek the answer in yourself and to heal what's there. Only after that, you will be able to get to the blissful Neptunian energy. So I said quite a few difficult things about Neptune, and in my defense, I also want to share with you that I actually love Neptune, and that for me, Neptune can bring unlimited happiness. This could be the most amazing experience you may have. So it's worth it to first work with the pain and the difficulties and to dig deeper and to do all of those more unpleasant stuff. It is worth it. Neptune brings incredible emotional and spiritual rewards. So I hope I gave you some directions of what you can explore and what you can experience and how you can transform those things. There are no fast answers. There are no like quick solutions. It is a path, but it's definitely possible to transform things and kind of like process the energy in a different way. So we are not, like objects created in one way, put on the table, that's it. We are living creatures. We are evolving. So the same is happening with the chart. The chart is also dynamic. Yes, we have a starting point and we have a potential and we have kind of like possible directions, but there is much we can do about it. So with that, I will leave you, and you can share with me in the comments what's your experience with Neptune and your relationships, and also which of those you have found to be true for yourself. Thank you so much again, and I will see you next time.